All right, guys, if you're like me and have an Arai helmet, you've probably learned that there's not many videos out there of people installing Cardo Packtalk Pro comms units onto these helmets. So I figured we'd kind of learn together and see where to mount the speakers, etc., kind of how to take it apart. If you have a helmet stand, obviously use that so you don't scrape up your helmet. I'm just going to use a towel that I picked up out of the house. Again, first and foremost, you're going to want to make sure that you can get this visor off. It's just going to make everything more accessible. So in order to do so, there's these little black tabs that you're going to see. All you have to do is push them forward and these should just pop off on both the left and the right side. Once you do that, let's see, mine's fighting me, there we go. Once you do that, the goal is to see, and hopefully this picks up on camera, the goal is to try to get this gold dot to line up with the red dot, and that's kind of how they pop out. So just kind of pull the visor all the way forward, maybe get your finger under here, pull it forward, push it up, and once it's on that red dot, it'll pop right out. So again, similarly on the other side, do that, line the two dots up, and it'll pop right off. At this point, everything's kind of a little bit more accessible. We'll flip the helmet over. You're gonna wanna get these cheek pads out. In order to do so, these Arai helmets are kind of cool. They kind of just click together, or click apart rather. So you should just be able to pull that cheek pad down if you hear that click. And then in order to get the cheek pad out, what you're gonna wanna do is just kind of unclip this surround. Kind of just slides out with this little clip. Once you've done that, the cheek pad should just slide right out for you. So I'll do the same on the other side. Let's see if I can get that off. And it's gonna pop right off. Undo that little black tab of the surround. Once you feed that strap through too, it'll come right off. So I'm gonna set the helmet aside for now. One thing that I want to just point out is when you're doing this, what you're gonna notice is on Arai helmets specifically, there is no indents on the outer shell of the helmet for the speakers to sit in like you'll see on some Shoeies and other helmets. But Arai does make it kind of easy for you. Within this cheek pad, if you just kind of pull it back a little bit, you're gonna actually notice that there's already a foam cutout. I don't know if this picks up on camera. There's a foam cutout here. All you have to do is kind of peel that foam cutout out and it'll pop right out for you. You can discard that foam cutout, but now you're gonna see there's a perfectly aligned circle for your speakers to sit in. So it should make that job pretty easy for you. Obviously do the same on the other side. Pull that foam pad out. And again, you're gonna have both left and right sides. I'm an idiot. I think I just messed these up. Oh, thank God. They mark them right and left, so you know what is what. So let's transition over to installing the speakers. I think that's gonna be the first move. Okay, so I'm probably doing this a little bit backwards. I already opened up the Cardo box, have the Cardo Packtalk Pro, I'll put that there. And then obviously most importantly are these speakers. So I haven't opened these up yet. Being the Packtalk Pro, they do come with the JBL, I believe they're 45 millimeter standard. So seem actually pretty good quality speakers. And we just got to figure out how we want to attach them within this cheek pad. So it looks like they actually give you some Velcro clips for these to stick to. Actually, yeah, 3M backed Velcro tips. And I'd imagine that these are just gonna sit inside those. So I guess first and foremost, what I'm gonna do is pull this out around the padding so I can kind of get better access to this circular area. I'll peel off this 3M double-sided Velcro sticky, if I can get my fingers under it. And I guess I'm just gonna stick it to it. Do the same on the other side too. Might as well just make this uniform while we're doing them. Set that one aside. All right. So now that we got those in, I'm just gonna undo this and I guess attach these things. I would imagine that I'm probably missing a few cables and I'm probably doing this backwards, but let's just do it. So one side's obviously going to be longer. I am going to mount my Cardo unit on the helmet's left side. So what you're going to want is obviously the shorter, I don't know if you guys can see this, the shorter of the two cables of the speakers. Shorter is going to go closest to that unit. So let's just make sure this is the right side, yep, and this is the left side. So let's just see where I want this wire to come out. I'm actually gonna feed the wire kind of on an angle down, something like that, underneath that clip. I think that's gonna be the move. All right, so I can actually close this speaker back up, or this this cheek pad back up. Try to get that as neat as possible. So that speaker's sitting in there. It actually seems like you can't even really tell, which is kind of nice. I'll do it to this side as well. Again, I'm gonna feed it that speaker wire right below that clip. And then just close this thing back up. All right, so once we have that all together, it should look something like this. And I guess we can go to mounting the Cardo unit now. All right, so I just opened up some of these packages. You guys are gonna see, this is actually what the Cardo unit's gonna mount into. This is like their patented magnetic clip. So I'm gonna put that back here. But you also have these two options. There's like this stick-on to the side of the helmet that you can pull and peel, or this clip. I'm actually gonna run the clip. It seems to be like it'll actually work with the Arai pretty well. So you're gonna want that to clip into the helmet. So what I'm gonna do, let's see if I can stick this back on for the time being. I don't know, there we go. Just so it's not bouncing around. So you're gonna want this clip to sit into this. Now, because you have the cheek pad out and that unclipped, this should actually slide in here relatively easily. Again, hopefully you guys can see this. I'll actually try to move it closer. So you're gonna sit somewhere like that. We can see where this piece is gonna sit. I think I'd like it a little bit further back. So I'm just gonna kind of slide it down, slide it up, sit like that. And then this, you guys, it's gonna be hard to show this on camera, but basically this just kind of slips in and it clips itself into it. So you just slide in from the bottom. Let's see, hopefully I can do this from this angle. I just don't want to pinch the wires. You're gonna hear it actually click. So it seems to be on there pretty sturdy, and it's not gonna be in the way of my visor or anything. So yeah, that's now clipped. Let's see what the next steps are. Okay, so now that this is on here, I'll try to show you guys. You can kind of see wires are fed back, clips there, nice and tight. I just kind of did it even with the edge of that, and I think it looks the best. So I guess next step, it doesn't really matter. You can put the cheek pads back in, but while I have those cheek pads out, I'm actually gonna try to see if I can run the microphone for the comms unit. Let's see, get this bag full of stuff. All right, so this little square Velcro piece, being a full face helmet, you're obviously gonna wanna probably get it as close to your mouth. I'm probably gonna just offset that Velcro piece. It's gonna be impossible to show this, but I'm gonna try to just get that Velcro piece off to the side a little bit and run that mic up and around the right side. They don't give you a lot of slack with this cord. Again, there's a little slack on the Cardo attachment itself. So you do have a little bit of room and freedom to move it where you want. But like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that placement. As long as it can pick up my voice, I think we'll be okay. So first and foremost, I am gonna place this little Velcro on the inside lip, I guess right above the chin spoiler, I think is what they call that. So I'll peel this Velcro apart. And I think I'm just gonna run it, like I said, just to the right of my mouth, or left of my mouth rather. All right, so I got that in there. I'll try to show you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but I put it right there, just to the left of my mouthpiece. At that point, you're gonna take just your mic and kind of mount it in there where you want it. The nice thing is, because it is a rectangle, you have the ability to move that mic kind of freely if there's too much feedback or noise. Maybe feedback's the wrong word. But you're just gonna wanna run the wires kind of under that around spoiler, this thing. I'm just gonna plug it in and then kind of tuck all the excess wiring in there. So I think this just clips right together. Should be pretty easy. Yep, clips right in. At this point, just so I'm not tangling up all my wires. Like I said, I'm gonna just tuck all of this in here so it's kind of out of the way. And it seems like most of that'll sit behind the chin spoiler anyway, or that surround piece. So at this point, we can actually move on to the speakers, I guess, themselves. I'm gonna leave this all kind of loose right now. So let's start with putting the longest side in first, which is the right side of the helmet. So opposite of what you did earlier, you're just gonna wanna feed that strap, helmet strap, all the way through. Pull it all the way through. And then before I clip everything into place, I am gonna just run this little clip back in and around so it sits up in there. This is kind of all feel, guys, so hopefully I'm walking you through it enough. All right, once you've got that kind of hooked in around, you can now begin to kind of put these cheek pads and speakers in. I am gonna just pull the wire kind of taut so it's not getting stuck behind it. But there is a little clip on the back of the speaker, or on the back of the cheek pad. I can't show you on the one that's in there, but this little clip is gonna have to tuck in and then it'll clip in. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll kind of try to capture the sound so you guys can kind of hear it. All right, so now that you've got the left, or actually in this case, the right cheek pad in, we'll move over to the left side. However, I do want to make the recommendation that before you start putting that in, is just clip together all this so it's all one cohesive piece, and that way you know kind of where all the cables are going, and you're not feeding anything improperly. So we can start kind of feeding this through. Again, this being the metal clip side, you just want to feed that down around. Want to make sure you get that felt piece fed through too, so it's not cutting you when you go to put it on. Make sure no wires are getting kind of tangled in there as well, and at that point you should be good to go. So before I clip this into place, I'm gonna just make sure that all these cables are out of the way, kind of not really affecting placement of where this clips in, and I don't want anything obviously getting pinched. So feed that back. Once you do that, you should kind of feel it clip into place. This side didn't make the same clip noise that the other side did, but I assure you it's there. Just make sure that all the plastic surround pieces are fed where they need to be. They're not catching any wires. Because again, that's kind of crucial to this install, is just making sure you're not pinching anything. Kind of just holding all the wires in place right now to prevent that. The one thing too, before I forget, make sure you clip this under surround piece up and around, so it's actually holding on to where it needs to, and it makes it all just look stock again, if stock helmets are a thing. So at this point, you can clip that in, and you should be good to go. I guess next is just kind of tucking all these wires where they need to be, and putting on the visor, so I'll do that next. All right, guys, so now that all the wires are tucked, I kind of just tucked them back under this surround piece. It should be looking pretty good. At this point, screw it, throw in your Cardo unit if you want. It's magnetic. Should just go perfectly on like that. It's nice and tight. Next, I do make the recommendation, let's put in the face shield. So we're doing this all the way through for you guys. What you're gonna wanna do again, make sure that you align gold to red on both the left and the right side at the same time. Once you've done that, you can kind of finagle your way on and you'll feel it clip. To attach these side pieces, do it with the visor open. I don't know why, it's just easier. It seems to just click a lot better. Let's see if I can do that. Perfect. You guys are good to go. That's your setup.